Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us remotely, we have Vanessa Ogle. She's the CEO of Enseo. And we're going to learn about hospitality technology, how hotels and tourism are weathering the coronavirus outbreak. Vanessa, it's great to have you with us. It's so important to understand what the landscape looks like right now for the travel industry. Tell us a little bit about Enseo and some higher level data points around how travel is tackling this.
Well, Jill, thank you so much for having me. This is a really important topic for our nation, as hospitality is a provider of jobs for 1 in every 25 Americans. Enseo is a provider of technology to people, places, including hotels. We provide the television systems that give you Netflix in those hotel rooms, the streaming services that allow guests to be able to have Wi-Fi in those guest rooms, and also an employee safety system that allows for safety and security for housekeepers, as well as students and teachers in classrooms.
All right, let's take a look at our first slide here, and we'll revert back to what you were saying, that 1 in 25 Americans work in the hospitality industry, and a big chunk of it is also made up of small business owners, which is really the lifeblood of our economy.
It is the lifeblood of our economy. When people think about hospitality, they think about the big name, publicly traded companies that get to sit at the table with the president. And they are fabulous companies led by amazing individuals. But the actual hospitality industry is made up of the owners who invest in those properties. And those owners are by and large small businesses. And then there's companies like mine and my colleagues where we have small businesses, less than 500 people in our team. And our entire business is driven by supporting the hospitality and education industries.
And if we take a look at the next slide here, this really puts it into perspective. When you look at the data condensed into 2 different pictures, hotel occupancy rates, that's quite incredible.
Yes, this is a snapshot of literally year over year, one of our properties with our visualization tools from a year ago today, and then the same property today. And what you can see is that you have thousands and thousands of rooms that were all full at capacity. And today you have not a percentage of a single digit occupancy in that property. And this is not a one-time property. I could have pulled up out of our 1,900 properties. I could have pulled up 1,800 of them, and you would have similar 1-digit or sub 1-digit occupancy levels. It's astounding.
So Vanessa, when we take a look at these hotel occupancy rates, and then we think about CEOs of leading hotels and tourism organizations, they're asking for the government for a significant bailout at the tune of $150 billion. And in the marketplace, you're hearing different conversations about how taxpayers want that money spent. Why does the CEO need a bailout? Why do they need to do more share buybacks? But when you come back to it and you look at the amount of people within the service industry and travel industry, these bailouts are really going towards making sure that they can come back online when we eventually go back to normal.
Yes, well, and there are 2 things. I think we have these large CEOs of large companies who sit at the table, and they are representing not only their company and their brand, but all of these small independent owners, these small businesses that make up the vast majority of the hotels owned in the community. And those are the companies that are receiving the majority of the benefit from this relief package.
Yeah, and I'm going to take a look at our third slide here. And this looks like it's your team over at Enseo. What are you telling them as you manage and take leadership during this crisis?
It's a difficult time. Our team is seeing all of our customers have huge furloughs and layoffs. They're dealing with the calls of closing down their properties, their customers that have been their customers for years. And so it is an opportunity for us to inspire trust and faith and hope in these employees that the market will come back. And being a small company that is nimble, that is able to pivot on a technology perspective, that we will be an important part of that comeback for this industry. So we have to do the right things now to stay alive. And that is part of what this stimulus package is intended to do. And I'm quite hopeful that it will help us have some relief.
Yeah, and if we wrap up with our last slide here, again, looking at the metrics just on how much the company is supporting the industry, it really is quite incredible.
there are a lot of guests who go through hotel rooms. And so making sure that those housekeepers are protected that are cleaning those rooms and that they have a job to come back to. There are a lot of the names of the big companies inspire the thoughts of these big companies with big market caps. But at the heart of the business is a lot of women, a lot of minorities, and a lot of small businesses like mine that are keeping the doors open to feed our families.
Yeah, that's a great point. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for joining us and for the insight.
Thank you for having me, Jill.
All right, and thanks for joining me on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.